girl fight.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Clarissa Lachey, aka Unapologetic Shay. Welcome to my YouTube channel, baby. Okay. So what's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my reasons why I don't think it's best to make friends at work. I'm going to share two small stories with you. So, a few years ago, it's 2022, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was working at a job and I was working with a lot of people my age. We went to the same university and we started working at this job. And so as we're getting to know each other, we're all again starting on the same level playing field and we're all just working and it's all good energy. I'm in several different organizations. A girl that I started my orientation with, she was inquiring or interested in these organization that I was in, and so I was like, well, I'll put you on game and all that. Like, I don't mind sharing that. Like, I mean, it's very easy. Like, this is what the organization looks. Get her whole overview and all that. And so we start working. We're in different areas. Sometimes we're working together. Sometimes we're not. And unbeknownst to me, people were talking highly about me, as I would say, from what I heard. And this person kind of was like, what about her? Like, I don't, like, I guess she took it personally. Now, this is what I found out after the job, so I don't really know what was said, and I don't know how she really reacted. But I'm coming to work blindsided and not knowing that she's having this animosity towards me. So I'm still being friendly with her. She's fake friendly with me. Time we leave the section that we're working, she's going and bad mouthing me. And this got to the point where a lot of rumors started being started about me. Now, this person I was befriending at work and I was getting ready to invite into my personal life, but it never got that far, luckily. But I did, like, sometimes we work together and I might share some things. I was young. I was still in college. I was much younger than I am now. So I'll be venting to her, she'll be venting to me, and I'll probably share something that's going on in my personal life. And next thing I know, some of those things were being repeated. And I'm like, hold up. It was just random stories. Things started manifesting into lies and, well, if this is true, then this might be true. And next thing I know, work became very uncomfortable for me. I did not want to be there. I was coming to work and wondering why people was like looking at me weird, giving me all this attitude. And so it got to the point where another person who I was not friends with, but she worked with us, and they were the other girl that I was friends with, or at least forming that relationship with her, got really close. And I noticed that when I would work with this other person, she would treat me really cold, like give me the cold shoulder. I would ask her something, or I'd be telling her what's going on. Hey, can you take on this responsibility, not take on this? The communication was not good. Whole time, come to find out, the so-called friend that I was building that relationship with was bad mouthing me to her, and it kind of painted a negative picture in the other woman's head. On this particular day, some words were said, I was violated, I was disrespected, and I responded accordingly. I'm not going to go too much into the detail because I don't want to reveal the place that I was working at. No, I'm not eligible for rehire. But, so, this person began to start saying things that started triggering me, and I also started to put things together of where it was coming from. It got to the point where it did get physical. She continued to walk in my face, and I told her, because the group that we're working with were adolescents. They were teenagers. And so the fact that this person is feeling all this hatred in front of these, I don't want to call them kids, these teens. And I'm like, these are the clients that we're serving. This is not appropriate. And I'm telling her, she's much older than me. She got years of experience. So she already has me telling that, I know what I'm doing. You listen to me, not the other way around. So even me communicating like different responsibilities was already because a big age difference between the two of us. I think she was in her 40s, 50s. She was much older. So she starts bucking up to me, walking up. She calls on the radio and she's like, y'all better come and get her. Y'all better come and get her. I'm going to do something to her. So I'm like, you threatening me, but I'm just telling you because a very inappropriate comment was made that day by this woman in front of all these teens about me, about my body type. She continued to buck up to me and I saw it coming. So I kind of just positioned myself in a stance because I'm like, the way we were positioned, she was closer to the door than I was, and she was coming at me at that angle. And so it got to the point where she muffed me and I put hands on her. And so I fought my coworker that day, and I quit the same day because I could not take it. Every day that I was going to work, it was a lot of animosity, and it was because one person felt some type of way because people were speaking on me initially in a positive light. I guess I was getting compliments. I don't know. Again, I didn't even know about this until I quit, because I'm like, it came out of nowhere. At least to me, it came out of nowhere. I didn't know where it stemmed from. All right. I'm going to share one more story because I don't want it to be too long. About 3 or 4 years ago, because after I left that job, I went to another job, and so about 7 years ago, I started working at this new job. Right away, I met this young lady. She's close to my age. She's in her 20s. I'm in my 20s. And we clicked. Like, every shift that we worked together, we bonded, we laughed, we was joking. It was lit. Like, I came to work just looking forward to her. Like, that's my homegirl. I already know this shit's going to be good. We ran smooth. We worked like this. We're a good team. Okay. Yeah, it was actually very quickly. About 4 months into the job, we got along so well. Like, that was my dog. I really liked her. Like, I loved that girl. That was literally one of my sisters. Like, for real. Like, so I want to say about 3-4 months into us developing a work relationship and just really just getting to know each other, we started hanging out of work. And I'm talking about, like, she'll come over to my place, I'll come over to her place, we go get drinks, we go get food. We was always having a good time. Like, things was good. And then there was some things that were going on personally with her, and there were some things that was going on personally with me, and she would share those with me, and I'll share that with her. And it was just like, we were very supportive of each other, and it was a really good friendship that lasted for a good amount of time. There was another young lady that was working with us. She was a little bit older than us, but not much. She was still in her 20s, but just in her late 20s. So she was more mature than me, at least. And so when she started hanging out with us, things were still good. But I started noticing that when the other friends started to join us, because I really had a good relationship with both of them, for two different reasons. But I will say this, both of those girls knew each other much longer because they had already been working together prior to when I got there. The more we started hanging out around each other, the girl that I initially made friends with, she was having a lot of stuff going on. I would say I probably had the least amount of problems, and I wouldn't even say the least amount of problems, I just shared the least amount of problems. So it was a lot of trauma bonding going on, and I couldn't necessarily relate because I really didn't have the exact same trauma or problems that they were having. So their relationship was being built differently than the friendship that I was having between the two of them. And so when I would hang out with all three of us, the friend that I was initially joining, when it was all hella cool, would throw jabs at me, and I know she's goofy and I could take it, so I would throw little jabs at her, but I would never go below the belt. It kind of got to little things where she started pointing out certain shit that I was already insecure about, and she just made a point to keep doing it. And it was always when all three of us got together, when it was just us two. And I realized that I do have poor boundaries, which is why I'm telling y'all I don't recommend it for y'all, especially if you have poor boundaries. She would be so open, sharing all her drama with me, all her trauma, and I was listening, providing a therapeutic and empathetic listening, and I realized, like, this is not an even exchange. So I kind of went through a lot in 2020. So we had met prior to that, but a lot was going on. So our friendship began to dissipate because as the year progressed, or the friendship, she was relocating, and so the other girl, we would just still hang out and kick it. Come to find out, it was becoming a problem. I didn't know, but I started to pick up on the signs later on. I was getting myself back up because, like I said, I never really shared the stuff that I was going through, but I was always working. I'm always a natural born hustler. When I started getting my life back on track and getting the things that I wanted to do done, I bought me a new car. I relocated myself because I was like, I needed a clean slate. I needed to start over. And not even start over, but renew, refresh. Like, I needed a new start to my year. I had quit that job that we were all working at. And I started working another job. I was working from home. And then I transitioned out of that job to another job. Yeah. I felt like as I was, again, doing things for myself, this person, and I'm not saying this person was actually down here, but pay attention. I was moving in a direction that I was trying to set myself up for greatness. This person was reminiscing and some things feeling left out, and she began to allow it to come out and perpetuate in many ways. She continued to insult me, and it wasn't no jokes behind it. She probably was the only one laughing, but it got to a point where other people were listening to that, like, what? And it's like, I have to be mindful because I'll be ready to check it, but it's like, okay, I know that this person is going through a lot, and they could be projecting because I'm always thinking, like I'm such a, trying to be open-minded. Let me tell you, you don't want to get to a point where you're mixing business with personal unless there's maybe years. I don't know. You have to have strong boundaries, but this person badmouthed me to the point where I started going to therapy because it started to affect my self-esteem. I was like, yo, like these are just two examples of why I just don't really encourage, especially as introverts or just in general. If you're making new friends, if you move to a new area, you're a mom or you're an introvert or you just have a hard time making new friends for whatever reason, it may be enticing, it may be tempting to start befriending your coworkers, but trust and believe, if those strong boundaries are not there in the beginning, it could cause a lot more havoc for you, whether it's at work personally or if it's in your work environment or if it's in your personal life. I shared two different stories. One affected my actual work environment, which led to a fight. Because the person was spewing so much negativity about me, and I didn't even know this until I left the job. On the other hand, the girl that I really developed a nice general relationship with, I started bringing her into my personal life, and it started to affect me personally, and to the point where I had to go get therapy because I was being triggered every time I got done talking to this person. At the time, I didn't know right away what was triggering me, but I also knew that the words that she was saying, because it was always guys under playfulness and jokes. But you always got to remember, when somebody's joking about particular things, them jokes are stemming from somewhere. Them jokes that person is saying, especially if it's hidden below the belt, they're stemming from somewhere. All I suggest is that be mindful. Do other things to make friends, but befriending your coworkers should be the last thing on your mind. Go to work, make your money, get your bread, and go home and go about your business. You might want to slow down on the friendships with the co-workers is all I'm saying. Like, maybe if y'all all go out as a group, I'm not saying, getting a drink it's too bad, but when you start mixing, literally telling this person personal information about you, or y'all trauma bonding, and it's getting like to a point where y'all like need each other emotionally, that is crossing the line. That's crossing so many boundaries. You don't want to mix business with pleasure. You don't want to mix your personal life with your work life. You want to keep those separate. There should be a barrier so that when you go into work, you're able to leave your personal problems at the door when you clock in, and when you leaving from work, leave your work shit at the door when you clock out, so you can go on about your business. Keep a mental, clear, safe mind. Keep your peace. Keep your peace. Keep your peace. That's all I can say. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like, comment below, subscribe, share it, all that good stuff. Next week, I'm going to be posting more shit. I don't know when I'm posting, but I'm going to be posting more shit. So go ahead and stay tuned for that one. Okay? It's your girl, Clarissa the Shade, a.k.a. Unapologetic Shade. Welcome to my YouTube channel, baby.